2 years ago, this behind me was a field of grass. Today, we are building 27 townhomes on a roughly 2-acre parcel. Let me take you through the entire journey, start to finish. Most people only see what goes above ground, which is the actual building side of things. But a lot of people don't know that there was a lot of time and effort put into the actual development side. If you look here, there's fresh pavement and then there's the old pavement. As a developer, what ends up happening is I find this piece of property, it's just a field, and then I hire a civil engineer and I go through, they call it the planning process. What I'm doing is I'm meeting with the city or the county and I'm putting together the plan of how many townhomes I'm gonna build, where the roads are gonna go, where the sewer's gonna go, where the water's gonna go, storm, and then you've also got the curb, sidewalk, and landscaping. All of this has to get done before I put a shovel in the ground and actually start going vertical. Specifically for the Fircrest townhomes, we're on day 105 of 120 days of building a duplex. So you can build a duplex in literally 4 months, but the question is the process it takes before getting to that phase of going and building that duplex. So one, you've got to go through that planning process. You got to design the project, understand all the infrastructure, which is the utilities, the roads, the sidewalk, the curb, and then got to make sure it meets the zoning, etc. You have that civil engineer put that all together for you. And then once you go through that process, you're going to be approved to move the dirt and shovel it. And now you have your site work contractor literally build out all of this infrastructure. And as they finish up and build out that infrastructure, you finally then submit the building permits. Building permits typically are going to take anywhere from 30 to 90 days. Sometimes if you're in a major city like Portland or Seattle or Chicago or Miami, it might take you 6 months to get those permits. But generally speaking, in the county areas, you're usually a couple months in and you've got those permits, and then you're off to the races, you're going vertical. Next, we're gonna cover the actual vertical side of things and the entire process start to finish. Most of the time, getting into this game, you don't wanna get into the development game. People confuse and say, well, I'm a developer, I'm gonna develop things. And then there's the build side. The build side and the development side are slightly different. The development side is everything underground. The build side is everything vertical. If it's me and I'm starting my first project, you want to find a ready lot, a lot that's already been developed. You come in there, you buy that lot, you hire that general contractor, you pay them their fee, and they go vertical for you. In this case, I develop my projects and I create 20, 30 lots. As in town, you're not going to go find 30 lots. You might find 1, 2, 5 at a time. I'm at the scale where we're looking to continue to grow, and so we do 20 to 50 lot subdivisions at a time. With the construction side and going vertical, first thing you have to do is draw up your plans. You've got this beautiful plan set, the architect draws up for you. They submit it to the structural engineer. The structural engineer makes sure that the building can stand and withstand the winds or whatever is in your city and town. Once you have that bundled up, you then have the architect submit it to the city or the county, and they get those permits pulled for you. Now that you have the permits approved, you can actually go vertical. You're gonna work hand in hand with the builder. Your job is really just to make sure the builder stays on schedule, on budget, and follows the scope. And then you get to do fun things like choose the design, the cabinets, the countertops, the tiles, the floors, the paint colors. That's really the main job of you or myself as that developer hiring that builder. Now, getting started into the vertical construction side of things. We are on a day 105 of this duplex, and we're gonna show you everything start to finish of how we got to where we are today. The first things first, you've got to get a surveyor out and survey where you're going to have that building sit. So they're going to give you roughly the area of the building. The excavator is going to come out and do a dig out. They're going to dig out the rough foundation area. They're obviously going to leave some extra room, whether 1 to 2 feet, so that next the foundation contractor can get their foundation within that box, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a perfect box. What I typically build are duplexes, so more of a box. Then the surveyor, before the foundation guy starts, he needs to know exactly where every single corner is. So you call the surveyor back out and you do hub and tack. They're gonna hammer in every single corner, and now the foundation contractor is gonna set up his forms or walls in those areas. If you're in the East Coast, you might have block, concrete blocks. So the foundation guy will set the concrete block. In our town, we form it up and then we pour the foundation. We obviously have rebar for structural. Rebar is that little metal thing. So we'll have that completed. Once the foundation guy pours, They wait for the concrete to cure, they remove the forms. Some cases, if you already have the concrete blocks stacked up, you're good to go. And then the next step is gonna be framing. So you have to order that lumber pack, at least for the post and beam. Now, if you're doing slab on grade, so there's like a concrete floor, instead what you would have to do is have the plumber come in and put all the plumbing, then you pour the concrete floor. We do wood floor, so we do post and beam, and then the plumber comes in. So once the foundation is poured, we order the post and beam, the framer comes in, lays out the beams, and then we have the plumber come in and put all of the underground plumbing underneath the floor, and then we cover it with the subfloor area. Once that's complete, the framer gets the lumber pack for the first and the second floor, and we start going vertical, and walls are gonna start going up. So you've got the framer and the lumber supplier doing all of this. Once they build out this beautiful home box and they get the trusses on, they get the roof on, at least they get the roof on with the framing or with the lumber and plywood. Now you can have your roofer come on site and install the roofing. You can have your sider come on site and install the windows. We use our siders to install windows. You can use specifically a window contractor. The windows get installed, and now we can start the siding process. In the meantime, as that exterior is getting done, and then you can also get the gutters on. On the interior, you've got to get everything that's inside the walls. Everything inside the walls is going to be plumbing, electrical, and HVAC heating and cooling. Typically what they call that is MEP, mechanical, which is for HVAC, electrical, and plumbing, MEPs. Once all of those are installed, you want to pass the framing inspection. When you think framing inspection, oh, that means the walls. Well, framing inspection is actually everything that's done before you enclose and throw some drywall on. So the inspector comes out, checks the plumbing, HVAC, electrical, he checks all of the framing, make sure everything was done correctly structurally per the engineer. That's a huge, this is one of the biggest inspections in new construction. Once you finish that and he passes inspection, you insulate and you enclose those walls with drywall. Now that you got drywall in the building, this is exciting. It's literally a remodel project. So everything from there on out can be super quick. You can get things done within 30 to 45, sometimes 60 days, just like a remodel project. So now that you've built the shell, you've enclosed it, you've got drywall, it's time to go, full speed. And so now that you got drywall, you've got to mud and texture it. They're gonna get that done. As soon as they wrap up drywall, what we do then is we install the cabinet bases, so these lower cabinets first. Then we get the flooring installed against the cabinets. So instead of underneath, we put them right up against it. The reason is we use LVP that needs breathing room. It needs room to move. And once we install that, then we put the finished carpentry, which is the trim. So we install the trim, cabinet goes first, flooring up against it, and then the trim on the walls so that it's a very seamless and clean look. And with the trim, you can install all of the window trims, the base trim, the door trim, the closets, so you have all the shelving in the closets. And now you are moving on to paint. So countertops could go in before or after paint, but then you want to paint the entire interior of the home. And you can also, with the lower base cabinets, we install the upper at the same time. It doesn't, the cabinet guy can do it all within that 1 to 2 day period. And so once you install all that, you paint the interior, the rest of it is the finishes. It's back to the MEPs, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. So we'll have all the sinks installed, shower heads. For the electrical, we'll have all the light fixtures, the outlets. For the HVAC, we'll have the fans installed, the final hookups on the HVAC system, the vents, etc. All of that will be wrapped up. And then you have the minor final touches like the cabinet handles. And then we always leave carpet for last, where we'll put the carpet on the stairs and upstairs at the very end before we do that final clean. Reason for it is you don't want contractors walking all over the carpet. Interior is wrapped up, all good to go. The finished carpenter also will install the door handles, etc. On the exterior, we had those gutters done. We also, as we paint the interior, we're gonna paint the exterior at the same time. Once the exterior is painted, we'll pour the flat work. So all of the concrete, the driveway, the garage, we'll also pour the back patio. Once that is complete, we do the fencing first, just the posts. So we'll put the posts in before we do the landscaping, because if you did all the landscaping, it's this beautiful property, you go and dig posts, you're gonna ruin the landscape. So posts get poured first, Landscape gets done, then we put the fence panels on, and that's a wrap. You have a beautiful home. Typically you can build it in 4 months to 5 months if it's a flat lot. If it's sloped or a little bit of a larger unit, we built 2 duplexes, so 4 units in approximately 120 days. As you can see, we're here, it's day 105. All we really got left is to get these cabinets installed, all the outlets installed, the light fixtures installed, and the exterior landscaping, which they're coming next week. It's a 5-day job. So we're right on track. We're gonna finish at about 120 days for a total of 4 units. So 4 units in 4 months, all with the same subs. We didn't use multiple crews. What we did is we just had the crews at different times. So the plumber was in this unit, HVAC was in the next unit, and electrician was in the other unit. So they were all working on different units, all at the same time. We were super efficient and we made it happen. That's the process start to finish. Like, share, subscribe. If you're interested in working with us, our goal is to have over 1,000 students build spec homes nationwide without having to be that GC. Hit that link below. It's the mentorship application. Super excited to work with you and absolutely crush it. Ask those questions below. We always want to answer and make sure we provide as much value as possible. Till next time.